David, our Chicano hero, made news saying, attention, PBC fighters without a promoter contract, call my headquarters. Let's make some good fights happen. Shots are thrown at PBC, David. What do you think about this?
I don't think shots are thrown. I think it's a factual statement. You do have some fighters who are not under a promotional contract. Oscar's just trying to make some fights. I think what it is you're seeing the desperation in Golden Boy right now. They've taken some L's with, of course, Vergil Ortiz being out of action for a long time. Then Ryan Garcia took a big loss recently. And then you have Alexis Rocha también, who was a guy that they were really trying to push as well, getting stopped by Giovanni Santillan. So, Golden Boy's reeling. They're on their heels right now, and Oscar's just trying to make some things happen for his company.
Yeah, about the past 90 days, Oscar's been calling all promoters to come out between Showtime going out of business. And you're right, he's got one big star on his roster. That's Ryan. He even helped PBC last summer, lending Ryan to PBC to get something going.
I don't think that he helped them. I think he needed that too.
He worked together. They worked together. He made the first step.
Yeah, they helped each other. Yeah.
But it does reek of a little desperation. His good friend Steven Espinosa was at Showtime. They're gone. He only has Ryan. Yeah, he's a little bit desperate, wants everybody to work together because it's going to benefit him and the lack of his roster. David, last week.
The Golden Boy is looking for the next Golden Goose. That's what they need.
David, last week, Foster and Hernandez fought. We were waiting for this one for quite a while, and we got what we were waiting for. It was a very, very entertaining fight. We think that there may be a rematch. They're calling for a rematch. Do you want to see a rematch?
Why the hell not, man? Let's do it again. Run it back. That was a really good fight. We knew it was going to be a good fight just because the styles mesh so well together. Boxer, puncher versus puncher, brawler. Hey, man, those are classic fights, man. They've always been for the most part. And this one was no different. That 11th round was a hell of a round, man. One of the best rounds we've seen in recent memory. Of course, I would love to see it again. Foster probably still has an edge going into the rematch because one of the things that we mentioned in our last video was Rocky has trouble cutting off the ring. And you had Foster, who was wearing a sleeve on his leg, trying to hide a knee brace. And you could tell his leg was bothering him. He was kind of hobbling around the ring there. So even with that and the small ring, Rocky still couldn't cut it off. So if he doesn't improve on that, I think Foster's just going to beat him even easier next time. But it's going to be a fun fight to watch.
Yeah, it was a very fun fight in the first go-around. Foster and Hernandez. Hernandez looked like he was in control of the fight. And at the end, Foster came up strong and knocked him out at the end.
That's another thing I want to talk about. I'm glad that you said that it looked like he was in control of the fight. I don't think he was in control of the fight. I think there was a ebb and flow to the fight. Foster looked like he was taking rounds. Then Rocky came back and won a stretch of rounds. Then Foster came again. Then he started to take Rocky out. And then Rocky has this moment, man, where he stuns Foster, even though he looks like he's out on his own feet. I mean, there were so many ebbs and flows of this fight. I didn't think anyone was really in control until the end. I think Foster showed a command of that fight and finally was able to take the lead. Those damn scorecards, bro. One of them was way off the mark. Another one was looking a little shady to me. I don't think there was a way in hell that Foster only won 3 rounds in that whole match. No way in hell. The best judges are these right here, man. And Foster used them to take the fight.
Yeah, very entertaining fight. I'd love to see the rematch. That 11th round was one for the ages. Did remind me of the Holyfield Bowl. All of them,
Whoa. Wait, let's not go there. Still a great round. No, hands down, yeah.
Hands down round of the year. Tyson Fury, Francis Ngannou fought last week as well. They fought a hell of a fight. Everybody was clamoring that Francis Ngannou put on a hell of a show. But then this morning we hear Abel Sanchez say Tyson Fury didn't spend much time in camp. That 11-week camp he kept clamoring about. Sugar Hill did say that Tyson Fury was not there much those 11 weeks, David.
I didn't need Abel Sanchez or Sugar Hill to tell me Tyson Fury didn't train for this fight. It was pretty obvious Tyson Fury didn't train for this fight. And it's pretty obvious he didn't take it seriously from the very beginning. He was making comments like, I could drink 10 pints of beer and beat Anthony Joshua in the same day, and I could drink 20 pints of beer and beat Francis Ngannou in the same day. That just lets you know he didn't take this fight serious. And I'm reminded of a quote Larry Merchant used to say back in the day: when you don't take an opponent seriously, that becomes a serious opponent. And that's exactly what happened to Tyson Fury. I see folks on social media, man, talking about this is a black eye for boxing. The only person that got a black eye was Tyson Fury. And he got that because he was not trying to take this fight seriously. And you know what, man? One more thing to say about Francis Ngannou. I don't want to take too much away from that dude. If Tyson Fury didn't prepare for him, that's his fault. Francis Ngannou did what he needed to do. The guy is a freakish athlete. He is a striker by nature. He has a background in kickboxing. He was a striker in MMA. And the guy is a quick learner. He knows how to box a little bit. He had Tyson in there guiding him on some stuff and during his training camp. There's no shame in that. I think Francis Ngannou comes in and has an impressive performance against a half-trained Tyson Fury. It doesn't. I think we should give him a little bit of credit, for that performance and not take so much away. I mean, whether Tyson Fury trained or not, I think Ngannou was going to give him some tough rounds regardless. I don't think he was going to stop him. But I also don't rank Tyson Fury that high either. So it is what it is, man. I'm more bothered that this fight got way more attention than Costa Hernandez, to be honest with you. That's a fight that deserves people talking about it,
Definitely Hernandez Foster is the better fight there. But Ngannou did get himself, I believe, win himself a good little boxing career though. So I think he'll have a promising boxing career. That came out of it. So
well, it'll be interesting to see what happens if he fights a ranked heavyweight that actually trains for him. You might see something different happen, but who knows? It does seem like he brought a little bit. He injected some excitement into the heavyweight division. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I'd like to see him. I mean, he's entertaining, and I believe in Saudi Arabia they definitely want him back. He won the crowd over there as well. David, friend of the show, IBF WBO minimum weight champion Yoka Valle fights Annabelle Avispa Ortiz in her hometown of Costa Rica. David, you spoke with her. She is one of Mrs. G's alums. We know Mrs. G always has her people properly nutritioned and ready to go. You spoke to them during camp. What do you got to report to us, David?
Well, Coach, shout out to Coach G. That's a very talented coach right there. Yeah, we spoke to Yoka, and she's really excited for this fight. She's actually been looking forward to fighting Annabelle Ortiz for a while now. She looked up to her. She's a long-reigning champion in the minimum weight division for women's boxing. Ortiz is 33-5 with 4 KOs. Longtime champion. The last time she fought, though, was October of 2022. So she's coming off over a year or about a year of inactivity. That's never a good thing, especially towards the end of your career. Hearing that Yoka had a really good camp, she's feeling strong, she's feeling energetic, she's definitely the favorite. She's also fighting in her home country of Costa Rica, so she's going to have the home field advantage as well. It should be a good show, but just know the momentum, man. Yoka has made 8 straight title defenses, and this will be her 3rd straight unified title defense. So she's coming in hot. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting fight. This weekend. Vergil Ortiz versus Frederick Lawson. David, Vergil Ortiz is coming back. He's making his debut at 154. We're very happy to see him back. It's going to be January the 6th in Las Vegas at the Virgin Hotels. I'm glad to see him back. What I want to see from him is, does he still got the pop? Can he go 12 rounds? Does he look healthy? There's a lot of questions. I want to see him have a good performance and look healthy. That's the main thing I want. Obviously, one of our favorite fighters out of GP, Texas, Grand Prairie.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. When I heard this news, I was very excited as well. But I've got this in the back of my mind, man. Most importantly, I'm hoping Vergil was medically cleared to continue his boxing career. Boxing is a lot better with Vergil Ortiz in it. He's one of the guys that will take on all comers. Boxing is his life, and I don't want to see him risk his life any more than he has to when he steps in that ring. So hopefully they did all the tests they needed to do. I just hope they did their due diligence to make sure that it's all good. Yes, he's making his debut at 154 pounds, but I don't know much about Frederick Lawson, just looking into his record and looking at a couple of highlights of him. Guy's out of Chicago. He fights or trains and lives there. He's 30-3 with 22 KOs. Pretty good record, but when you look at the losses, they're all by stoppage. I don't think this fight is going to tell us much about Vergil or what he's going to look like at 154 pounds. I hope he does get some rounds in, though. I was hoping for an opponent that, obviously you don't want to give him a really tough fight in his first fight back. Vergil's going to be fighting off a year of inactivity as well, in addition to all the conditions that he's been dealing with. I do want to see him go some rounds. I don't think we'll learn anything about if he takes this guy out in 2 or 3 rounds. That's not going to really give us a picture of where he is as far as in the division. Hey, I'm just glad that he's back, and hopefully he'll be able to stay, because this is one of those guys who tells you boxing is his life. You really believe it when he says it.
Well, congratulations to Vergil Ortiz on coming back. It's been a long time coming for the guy. Thank you guys very much for joining us this week. Please keep supporting us. We're trying to get to that 1,000, so subscribe, leave a comment, and like. We will see you guys next week.